Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me, and I wanted to talk about an article I read today by Isaac Rose Berman. And this is not going to be critical of the article, although there is a small piece that I think I want to pose an opposite idea or maybe a counterpoint. Because ultimately I agree with what Isaac is saying here. I do think there is one analogy that is skewed, and that's really the purpose of what I want to discuss in this video. Today on Gambling X, what I call the wasteland of the internet, unfortunately, I was called cringe. I was called a clout chaser. It's funny because I think people who watch my YouTube understand that most of the things I do that are cringe are done ironically, are done for an effect, are done for satire's sake, especially as it relates to gambling Twitter. I post a lot of things on there that are completely satirical and ironic. And I think I didn't realize people took them seriously. Like I posted a breakfast photo the other day, pretending to be GRP, if you're familiar with that account. And I said, in honor of draft day, shout out to this greatest sports bettor, which I was being ironic. Like I was trying to be funny. I wasn't clout chasing. Anyway, I hope that this video, I hope that maybe redeems myself to those people who think that I'm just completely off my rocker. But if not, who gives a flying fluff? Sports betting apps shouldn't have slots is the title of this article. And what Isaac is saying in here is he is a professional sports bettor. He uses the sports betting apps, the rec books, and he says his biggest complaint with them, or something that does not sit right with him, is the ease of which a person using the sports betting app can use the casino app. He mentions in here the fact that the blackjack button sits at the bottom of casino states, legal casino states, on the sports betting DraftKings app. I make a living betting on sports. I don't like online casino games, and yet, like many online sports bettors, I've often found myself at a table as a result of targeted promos, boredom, or loss chasing. In fact, I almost never even click the tab on the app. I get sucked in by the mini blackjack icon. So his whole argument or take is that they should not be merged. While DraftKings can own both, they should be on separate apps, and they should not cross over. I agree with him. But there is a point in here that I think needs to be discussed as it relates to a larger topic on this issue. And I posted about this on X. And after I posted, I thought this is a little deeper than what I can type up. And I would hate for someone to read that and think that I am not thinking about this with nuance, or I'm just trying to be contrarian. So I want to read what I have a problem with, and I'm putting it in air quotes because I respect and understand what is being said, but I want to paint it in a different way to see if that changes your perspective a little bit. So we'll start up here. There's a simple solution that would protect me and millions of Americans who want to bet on sports. Get rid of casino games on sports betting apps. I agree. DraftKings and FanDuel already have dedicated casino apps, and multiplayers could still seamlessly transfer their balances across products. But by requiring separate apps for sports betting and iGaming, that is online casino, regulators would insulate sports bettors from casino promos and products, which study after study have shown to be far more dangerous. Yes. So just a comment on that. There are edges to be had in sports betting. There are games of skill is sports betting. There are people who have a distinct and measurable edge, and so it is indirect gambling. We'll call it that. You understand what I'm trying to say. Whereas a game of blackjack, a game of roulette is luck, not including counting cards and playing. You get the point. All right. Casino is more dangerous. You can lose a lot faster. It's unlimited play time. Whereas with sports, you have to wait on the events, et cetera, et cetera. There's limits. Anyway, if you go to this is the part that I don't agree with. And I'll talk about why. If you go to a drugstore with a headache looking for an aspirin, the pharmacist isn't allowed to try and get you to take oxycodone instead. And they definitely aren't allowed to give you a voucher for 10 free pills when you walk in. Yet as iGaming and sports betting have spread across the country, we've allowed operators to normalize this type of behavior, leading to skyrocketing rates of addiction and worse gambling experiences for the average bettors. This is what we're going to talk about. I do want to finish this up, though. I believe online casino gambling shouldn't be legal at all. I agree. If you want to take the moral route, if you want to take the best for society route, we should not be able to play casino games from our app, from our phones at home, 24/7. I hope the 7 states where it's permitted eventually ban it. In the meantime, regulators can make it separate apps. So this is what I want to talk about right here. Because this is why my brain struggles to accept this. When you go to CVS for an aspirin, you are seeking a solution to a problem. That is not akin to loading up on DraftKings. So in this analogy, going to the store for medicine for a headache is the same as going to DraftKings to place a sports bet. Those are not equal. Sports betting is an entertainment seeking activity. Sports betting is a boredom buster with a chance to win. Sports betting is not something that inherently is going to fix an issue. The issue being lack of money, lack of an income. Now, in some cases, as in Isaac, as a professional sports bettor, he may view sports betting as a solution to a problem. Problem is no income. I'm sure Isaac could find an income. He wrote this very nice article. Point is, he may not, and I think he does see it. Obviously, this guy's intelligent, and he sees, but it's not the same. These are not parallel analogies. And so the analogy that I put on Twitter was a better way of saying this is if you go to a bar and you are drinking beer and the bartender offers you a shot. It's not walking into CVS looking for aspirin and getting oxycodone, because that is a beneficial line of thinking. I have an illness. I'm trying to get better. I could get better with this and be serviced with this aspirin, or I could get this potentially addicting thing. Well, I agree that it lines up there. That casino is more potentially addicting, as is oxycodone. But I don't agree that sports betting is the aspirin to a headache, is the solution to a problem. Sports betting is a problem. Nobody's getting addicted to aspirin, I don't think. So the overall point stays. Like, I definitely agree with Isaac. But we need to think about this as, for a lot of people, mobile sports betting is a problem. Regardless, like you mentioned, 7 states have online casino. Well, there are plenty more with mobile sports betting, and we know people are addicted. We know that people are losing copious amounts of their money sports betting. So if you go to a bar and you're drinking a beer and the bartender offers you a shot, should that be allowed? Well, I've never been to a bar. I don't drink. And I think this is the interesting piece of the puzzle. I don't drink because I have a family tree that if you close your eyes and point a finger at it, you're going to land on an alcoholic. And I saw what that did to a family. I've seen what alcohol dependency, alcohol addiction, alcoholism does to not only the person, but to the people connected to the person in life. And so I choose not to go to the bar. I choose not to drink the beer because the beer may lead to the shot. So should we ban bartenders from offering shots to beer drinkers? Especially if the bartender's working on commission and the bartender makes more money if they're selling more shots. And this is where I struggle as a sports betting content creator, where I try my best to educate sports bettors. I try my best to say, look, you guys are going to sports bet. Let's do it responsibly. Let's get in good practice. Let's line shop. Let's track every bet we make. Let's use tools to, I do that much as in this analogy of beer drinking. I would say, hey, if you're going to the bar, make sure you're drinking what is safe to drink. If you have not kept under that, get an Uber, that kind of thing. But to I think maybe my frustration with this, and again, Isaac, I don't know you. I would like to know you. You seem sharp, not only in the sports betting world, but in the understanding of the nuance that the sports betting world is. I would challenge you to say that while this is a problem, such as hard liquor is a problem, beer can also be a problem. Sports betting, and I'm sure he understands this, sports betting is a problem. So the analogy here that sports betting is the cure for something, is the aspirin, but the casino is the problem. I think we need to look at it and say, I don't even know, like, sure, it's the lesser of two evils, but is the lesser of two evils no longer not evil? Double negative there. It's still evil. And again, that's something that I struggle with. I've struggled with that since the inception of this channel. If you go back and watch videos from years ago, I have said these things. And so again, I'm trying to promote safe drinking, safe habits. But at the end of the day, Isaac, you're right. Online casino gambling should not be legal in my eyes. I do think sports betting should be legal, but that's because it has afforded me profits, and I recognize and understand that is not the case for everybody. So those are my thoughts. It's nuanced. It's a give and take. It's a push and pull. But I think at the very, very, very end of the day, to expect these sports books to make a moral decision in an immoral landscape is unrealistic. And if the bartender is offering a beer drinker a shot of liquor, it's up to the beer drinker to say, not tonight. Love you guys. See you next time.